Hello everyone, my name is Gianna Sandelli. I'm the Assistant Director of Community Outreach at Lowell House.
My name is Evan Lucy. I'm an EMT with Trinity EMS, and I also work on the co-op team in outreach.
Today we're going to talk about what to do and how to recognize an overdose.
The first thing we're going to talk about is what is an opioid and how does it work. Within your body you have these receptors. They're called opioid receptors. If you ever noticed, if you exercised, that you kind of get a good feeling and you relieve pain, that's what those receptors work. Your body makes these things called endorphins that act on those receptors, relieve pain. So they've created opioid drugs that are prescribed to relieve pain, take advantage of this action. These are commonly known as Oxy, Percocet, or Vicodin. Those are a couple examples. The issue with these drugs is that there's so many opioid receptors in a region of your brain that's responsible for respiratory rate. When drugs that are really strong bind to those receptors, you can go into an overdose and die due to respiratory depression. There's also different drugs that are illicit, commonly is heroin, opium, also fentanyl, which can be illicitly made, and both prescription. These drugs are way more stronger than prescription drugs, 100 times stronger. Fentanyl's 100 times stronger than heroin. How Narcan works is it'll kick out the opioid in the brain and allow the person to breathe again. What we do is we usually give it through the nose. It's called intranasal. This dose is 2 milligrams to 4 milligrams. The onset of action is going to be a minimum of 2 minutes to 5 minutes. This means that you won't see the effects take place and the person get rejuvenated for at least 2 minutes. This is important to keep in mind because, while those 2 minutes might feel like forever, you don't want to keep giving doses after each other. They last typically 30 to 90 minutes. Typically, you'll see it last 30 to 60 minutes. So this is also important to note because illicit drugs and prescription opioids will have much more longer duration. So when that Narcan wears off, you still have those opioids in your brain that can work, and the person can be reversed back into an overdose. Gianna's going to talk a little bit about how to do first aid regarding an overdose.
So what to do if you suspect somebody is overdosing? You want to check on that individual and determine whether or not they are overdosing. So yell their name, go over to them, shake their shoulders, any of those things, try to get their attention. If they respond in any way, make any type of noise, they're not likely in an overdose. They might just heavily be under the influence, but monitor that person. So some other signs that the individual might show that speaks to them overdosing is the color of their skin. It might be grayish, their lips might be blue, their pupils will be real small, and if they're not responding to their name, they're not responding to any type of shaking, you can do what's called a sternum rub. Kind of stick your fingers out like this and go right in their chest and just dig. It could cause a little pain, that's okay, you kind of want to wake them up. If they don't respond to that, call 911 immediately. You want the emergency personnel on the way before you do anything else. Once you've called 911, if you can, stay on the phone with the operator and then go grab Narcan. If you have it in the house, your purse, your car, wherever you have it, just grab it. So then you would peel the back like this, stick this part in the individual's nostril and push right here, and you don't have to do both sides. You can just do one with this type of Narcan. And like Evan said, the Narcans could take up to a full 2 to 5 minutes to work. So if the person's still unconscious and you are comfortable at CPR, you can go ahead and start CPR. In the COVID world, we understand, we're not recommending that you do rescue breaths to someone that you don't feel comfortable doing. If you know how to do chest compressions, go ahead and start those. If the individual does wake up, what you're going to want to do is put them on their side with their bottom arm out and their knee bent in something called the rescue position. And this is in the event that the person gets sick. We don't want them choking on their throw up. And then if the person does not wake up in that 2 to 5 minute window, I know it seems like a long time, but feel free to go ahead and give them another dose. So again, we'll go through it. You can check for an overdose with the signs that we talked about. The skin color, their lips, their pupils will be real small. Call 911, give them the Narcan. So again, the way the Narcan works is we'll peel the back just like this. This part right here will go in the individual's nose, and then you'll push this bottom part. It's not too hard to push, just push and it'll go right into their nose. And then if you can remain with the person until help arrives, that's always helpful for the individual. We have something in Massachusetts called the Good Sam Law, which means that if you're present at an overdose, you're not going to get in any trouble. You know, if you're fearful, stay until help arrives and then do whatever you have to do. But if you can stay until help arrives, the Good Sam law allows you to have, you know, you don't have liability. If you Narcan someone and they unfortunately don't make it, you're not in any way is it your fault. You know, you tried to help that individual. So if anyone's interested in getting a naloxone training, you'd like to carry it yourself, you want to learn a little bit more about it, feel free to reach out to Evan or I. Our phone number will be on the screen at the end of this presentation. You can reach out to Maria Ruggiero with the Tewksbury Police Department. She can help get Narcan as well as face masks if anyone's interested in carrying those. And then we'll have a list of a couple other resources on the screen at the end of this. And again, never be afraid to use Narcan. It only works on opioids. It is not harmful in any way. Thank you.